rescue transported that individual to Delray Medical Center, where he was pronounced dead at the time of a gunshot wound. At that point, FHP gave us a call to assist with the investigation. Very basic information right now. We don't know where he was shot. We believe he was shot on 95. We don't know by who at this point. We don't know where he was coming from. It's all part of the investigation. But again, it happened about 4 o'clock. It was during the paving 95, about 4:30. After the individual was shot, he went off the highway into the side median, as you saw from some of your pictures. Part of the investigation, we do know who the individual is. We're in the process of notifying next of kin. Once we do, we'll give you that information as well. But again, very basic information right now. We're trying to backtrack a little bit, find out where he was coming from, who he could have encountered along the way.
So was there evidence that would lead you to believe that it wasn't someone that had been shot, hopped in the car, was driving himself to the hospital, or was there evidence where it looked as if someone had shot through a vehicle window?
That's part of the investigation. We do know that the individual was shot in the vehicle, and where that took place, we don't know.
The shots could have come from outside.
Shots could have come from outside, correct.
Did you find any bullets or shells?
They're in the process right now. When I left the scene, they were actually canvassing the highway right now, looking for casings.
Was this person declared here or at the hospital?
He was declared at the hospital.
Yeah, I know you can't give us the name, but can you give us an approximate age, possible hometowns, local?
As soon as we have that, we'll have that very soon for you. I'll have that very quickly for you.
Do you know, I mean, you certainly know who the guy is. Anything you can say? Was this guy involved in criminal activity, have a rap sheet?
Yeah, we don't know. I don't have that information at this time. I mean, this just happened 2.5, 3 hours ago. Again, you know, the individual was on 95 when FHP heard the crash. They went over. They found the individual injured. Boca Raton Fire Rescue transported him to Delray, where he was pronounced dead of a gunshot wound. Part of that investigation is to find out where he was coming from, who he may have encountered there or along the way, and where the shooting actually took place. It's believed at this point it took place on 95.
Do you have any feeling for how long the 95 will be closed?
We're just talking about that. They're hoping it'll be open shortly. They just got to finish canvassing it, and also officer safety out there right now while they're investigating, and they're doing all their measurements and taking all their crime scene photos.
Really, like what, within an hour maybe?
I don't have a time frame. I do know they were just talking about when to reopen it, though, at least a couple of lanes.
Can you ID the car and what type of car it is, and also did it hit anything or did it just go into the swale? The car. When the incident happened, or just post-incident happening, he went off the highway, hit a barrel, and then came to rest in the long grassy area. He was I'm not a crime scene investigator, but he wasn't traveling at, it seems, at a very high rate of speed, because there wasn't any damage to the car and it was just a barrel, and he came to rest in the grassy area.
Were there construction workers at the scene?
They're in the process of paving, and there was a fresh layer of asphalt that was just laid in that section, and the FHP detail officer heard the crash.
So we heard the crash, but not necessarily gunshot.
Correct.
So we don't know maybe if this was a road rage incident or not?
We don't. That's part of the investigation at this point. Again, very early in the investigation, so we got to find out where he was coming from, who he could have encountered, where it could take place. Those pieces will start coming together as we backtrack.
And was it a single gunshot?
I don't have that information right now.
You know what type of car?
I don't. I can get that for you. It looked like a 300ZX or something like that, like a Nissan, something like that. What's that?
I think it was a Nissan.
Yeah, it looked like I'll get the exact car for you. That's what it looked like, though.
Which hospital did you say?
Delray.
Delray. But you are treating this as a homicide, not a suicide.
It's suspicious at this time. And then we're still also investigating whether anybody could have been with him, where he came from, who he encountered, where he was coming from, all that information.
Will you guys have an update here, or send something out?
No, we're going to go back to the PD if you guys want to meet us back there later. And it probably won't be till afternoon when we have some more information as we gather the information. I can tell you, we're not going to ID him right yet, waiting for next of kin. I can tell you he was from Boca Raton. So he was from our city.
How did you guys end up with this rather than FHP?
It's 50-50 when something like this happens on the highway. FHP called us and asked us to assist them with the investigation.
Okay.
Yeah. All right, anything else, guys? All right, cool, thanks.
Thanks, Mark.
Yeah, we'll have something later.
You just heard the Boca Raton Police Department wrapping up their news conference. Been working jointly with FHP because 95 shut down. As you can still see that aerial view, it was a construction detail with FHP that heard this crash, right. And it was that car you're taking a look at. And when they got closer, they saw that a man had been shot and he was bleeding, and that's when they took him to the hospital.
Right, that's where he later died. But there are many unanswered questions right now that our crew will be working to gather for the next few hours. That is, who this person is. We know now that he was from Boca Raton. as investigators try to figure out where he was from, where he was headed, how this happened, if he had a passenger. A lot of unanswered questions, but also the question of, is there still potentially a danger to others?
Right.
We just don't know that. So we'll be keeping in touch with you through that WPTV app.